She only meant to rest her feet for 1 minute. Just one. But when 19-year-old Maya Torres, exhausted, pregnant, and barely holding her life together, slipped into the wrong black sedan behind the diner, she had no idea she was stepping straight into a different world. A world of velvet penthouses, whispered threats, and a man whose name made dangerous people go quiet. A world where her mistake wasn't just noticed, it was claimed. And when she woke up in the Mafia boss's penthouse, with his cold gray eyes watching her like she was both a puzzle and a warning, she realized the terrifying truth: the wrong car might ruin her life, or save it, but only if she survives the man who never lets anything, or anyone, leave once it enters his world. It was close to midnight at Ray's all-night diner, and the neon sign outside flickered like it was struggling to breathe. Maya Torres wasn't doing much better. At 19, she carried more weight on her shoulders than most people twice her age. Her growing belly made each shift heavier, each step slower, each fake smile more painful. Her parents were gone, her ex-boyfriend had checked out the moment he heard "baby," and the only family she had left was the one she was trying to create. She stepped out behind the diner for a few minutes of air, pressing a hand to her back, breathing through the dull ache that never really left her. A cold wind whipped past her thin coat, and she tried to imagine what it must feel like to be warm, not just in body, but in life. Then she saw it. A sleek, black sedan parked exactly where her friend Rosa usually left her car when offering Maya a ride home. Maya didn't think twice. Her feet were throbbing, her vision slightly blurred from exhaustion. She just wanted to sit, just for a moment, before Rosa arrived. So she opened the back door and slid in, whispering, "Thank God," as her body finally found a soft seat. The interior smelled too nice to be Rosa's, but Maya told herself she was imagining it. She leaned her head back, her eyelids heavy. The door clicked shut, by itself, the car locked, and the engine started. Maya's eyes snapped open. Her heart stuttered. A man's voice came from the front seat, deep and calm, the kind of voice that didn't need to raise itself to be obeyed. "I hope you're not planning to run." She froze. Her breath was ice. I think you have the wrong person." "No," he said, and the finality in that single word slammed into her like a wall. "But you definitely have the wrong car." Before she could reach for the door handle, the man's hand pressed a button. The lock sealed. The windows darkened. Maya's pulse thundered so loudly she could barely hear anything else. "Please," she whispered, clutching instinctively at her belly. "I'm pregnant." "I didn't mean to." The man turned slightly, and she caught a glimpse of his profile under the passing streetlights. Sharp jaw. Cold gray eyes. A face that was beautiful in a way that felt dangerous. "You'll be safe," he said. "Safer than anywhere else in the city." Who are you?" "Luca Moretti," he answered, and even Maya, sheltered as she was, felt the weight of it. His name was a headline. A warning. A myth whispered in alleys. People disappeared when they crossed him. Others thrived under his protection. But no one ever forgot who he was, and now Maya was in his car. The city blurred by as he drove, and she didn't know whether to pray or scream. Her baby shifted inside her, and she wrapped her arms around herself, trying to shield the little life she had left. By the time the car stopped, her hands were trembling. They weren't at a warehouse or a basement. They were atop a glittering skyscraper, Luca's penthouse, notorious for being a fortress disguised as luxury. He opened her door gently, not like a kidnapper but like a man used to controlling every moment. "You're exhausted. You're safe here for tonight." Safe. The word felt wrong on her tongue. Too kind for someone with his reputation. "Why me?" she whispered. He didn't smile. Didn't soften. But his voice lowered, almost thoughtful. "Because you got into my car," he said quietly. "And in my world, that means you're under my protection now." Maya didn't step forward. Not yet. She didn't trust him. But she didn't trust the night outside either. She didn't trust her strength to survive the world waiting beyond those glass doors. Luca watched her, unreadable, like he was assessing a threat and a tragedy at once. "Come inside," he said. "Start with rest. The explanations can come later." And despite every warning in her bones, Maya followed him into the penthouse that would change everything. Maya woke slowly, wrapped in the softest sheets she had ever felt. For one blissfully ignorant second, she imagined she was home, somewhere warm, somewhere safe, somewhere that never really existed. Then reality snapped back. Marble floors. City lights stretching past the windows. The faint smell of expensive cologne. Luca Moretti's penthouse. She sat up too fast and winced, pressing a hand to her belly. That was when the door opened. Luca stepped in, wearing a dark suit like it was a second skin. He carried a tray with breakfast, eggs, fruit, tea, and set it on a table without speaking. His presence filled the room, commanding but strangely calm. "You should eat," he said. "You fainted when we arrived." "I didn't faint," she muttered, cheeks heating. "I was just tired." "You're carrying a child," he said. "You need more than tired excuses." Maya stiffened. "Don't talk like you know me." He paused, just a heartbeat, then sat across from her, folding his hands with that eerie stillness powerful men had. "You're right," he said. "So help me understand." Maya hesitated. No one had asked her that in months. Not her ex. Not her boss. Not even Rosa, who tried but was always rushing between responsibilities. Still, she wasn't about to spill her life story to a mafia boss. "Why am I here?" she asked instead. Luca studied her, not with interest, but with intention. "You entered the car meant for my enemies," he said plainly. "A vehicle that was supposed to be empty." His voice darkened slightly. "If they had gotten to you first, you'd be dead. And so would your child." A chill ran down her spine. "So I saved you," he continued. "Whether you meant to be saved or not." Maya swallowed. "And now what?" "I'm your prisoner." "If I wanted you trapped," he said, "I wouldn't have left the door unlocked." She glanced at the door. He was right, it was open. No guards. No locks. She could leave, but where would she go? Back to the diner? Back to rent she was late on? Back to a world where she was one bad day away from losing everything? Luca sensed the war inside her. "I'll answer your real question," he said quietly. "No, you're not my prisoner. You're a problem I intend to solve." "A problem?" "For them," he said. "The men who wanted that car. If they learn you were inside, they'll come after you to ask questions. And they won't care that you're innocent." Maya's breath hitched. "So you're keeping me alive," she whispered. "I'm keeping you safe," he corrected, those words again. Safe. She didn't know if she could trust them, but something in Luca's expression, buried deep beneath the ice, hinted he wasn't lying. Silence settled between them until Maya asked the question that had been clawing at her since last night. "Why do you care?" Luca looked away, only for a moment. And in that flicker, she saw something unexpected. "Something haunted, a long time ago," he said slowly. "Someone innocent got hurt because of me. Someone who didn't deserve it. I can't change the past. But I can choose differently now." Maya didn't know what to say. Luca stood, his composure snapping back into place. "You may stay here until the danger passes," he said. "Eat. Rest. And if you need anything, you tell me." As he turned to leave, Maya called softly, "Luca." He stopped in the doorway. "Thank you," she whispered. "It wasn't trust. Not yet, but it was the first small crack in the wall she'd built around her heart, and Luca, who never allowed weakness in his world, felt something stir he hadn't allowed in years. Maybe this girl hadn't entered his life by accident. Maybe she was the one thing fate forced him to face.